Hello and welcome. This is Eric from AD Racing Central. I have previously completed the WipeOut HD and Fury campaigns from WipeOut Omega Collection on skill difficulty. And in this video series, I play through the Fury campaign on Elite, the highest difficulty. There are 8 events with various challenges to tackle, and in the last episode I managed to get all the gold medals on the one called Blitzed. Today we tackle the second event called Impact. Let's get started. On Impact there are 7 events to take on. I started off with the speed lap on Talon's Junction, and since this was in Venom, the slowest speed class, I figured that handling tight corners in a somewhat clunky but very fast Icarus craft shouldn't be a problem. That was sort of the case. In speed lap, the only thing that counts is your fastest lap time, and the only resource you have is a turbo each lap. By using the technique where you activate your turbo just before the finish line, I could benefit from 2 turbos on one lap, but even this was only just enough to get me the goal with less than a second left on the clock. This definitely got me thinking about how hard the rest of the races might be. Next up was an Eliminator race, also on Talon's Junction, and in Eliminator, damage and eliminators are all that counts. I went with the balanced Assegai ship for this event and relatively easily got the lead. However, it is quite easy to lose your momentum in these events, since the weapon pickups are randomized and the AI craft are also quite adept at converting their weapons to shields, nullifying all damage they receive. I managed to get a double elimination with a plasma shot and a missile shortly after each other, and one thing you can also do in an Eliminator event is a comet spin, instantly spinning your ship around, making you face the wrong direction. I used one of these moves along with a triple rocket that sealed the deal for this event.
Session complete. Gold medal awarded.
After that I went for a Detonator event, this one also on Talon's Junction. And yes, I watched the event types rather than the tracks when I chose the order. At least with Detonator events transforms the track into some kind of fantasy version with a dynamic color palette. In Detonator, you have to shoot as many targets as possible while your ship flies faster and faster with each lap. Hopefully, you reach the target score before you destroy your ship by bumping into too many walls and targets. Talon's Junction has a very tight half loop, making it very hard to see what's ahead, which is a bit tricky in this event type where the track is littered with obstacles. The event itself wasn't all that hard though, and the gold medal wasn't a very tricky achievement.
Gold medal awarded.
A zone battle on Protosa was up next, which has a similar color filter as Detonator, but here you race against other AI opponents. You gain energy from running over speed pads, and you can use said energy to increase your zone level and speed, or to leave a damaging barrier behind you. You are probably far better off by cashing in your energy for higher zone level, as the first pilot to reach a certain zone level wins the event. It might be because the opposition spent too much energy on barriers, but zone battle events are not among the most tricky ones in this game, and the gold medal was eventually mine.
Session complete.
This grid included another Eliminator event on the track Tech the Raw. This time I went for the Kyrex ships that with its balanced stats and emphasis on shield is very suited for this type of event. I wouldn't rank Eliminator events as some of the harder ones either, even though I know they get tougher as you progress through the campaign. Sometimes you miss the podium simply because you lose your flow by getting less desirable weapon pickups and getting smashed by opponents behind you. This did not happen to me in this event though, and the Quake among other things led me to victory.
Gold medal awarded.
Only 2 events left, and the next race was the first zone event in the campaign. Here the track is once again turned into a fever dream, and your special zone ship keeps increasing its speed as you progress through the zone levels. This event ends once your ship blows up after too many collisions with the walls, and hopefully you have by then reached the target zone. The zone events in the 24-8 campaign are nothing other than brutal, but the early ones in the HD and Fury campaigns should be manageable for most pilots who are somewhat familiar with using their air brakes.
Gold medal awarded.
The last event was a race on Tech the Raw, and a return to a ship that was an old favorite of mine, AG Systems. A generally balanced craft but lacking in the shield department. This may lead to having to absorb pickups rather than using them, but shield is still the attribute I personally tend to sacrifice first. On these slower speed classes it's much easier to keep a good racing line, but you may have to use your pitch to gain enough air to do a barrel roll. In this race it was a bit of a struggle with the Goteki 45 ship up until the very end, but the timely pickup of a turbo sealed the deal, letting me cash in the last gold medal of the event. 2 grids complete and 6 to go. To watch the entire playlist of me completing the HD Fury campaign on Elite difficulty, click on the playlist to the right, or click on the video to the left to hear me talk about why WipeOut Omega Collection is such a great game. Thank you for watching. I'm Eric from AD Racing Central, and I'll see you in the next video.